Roll call. Y'all need to let me know who is in the house. Do you have your practice pad? Y'all know what time it is, man. We are here for an hour, hanging out. Grab your sticks and your practice pad, maybe some snacks. Come on in, join the party. Eden Averton. Should you use a click for bar gigs? Nah. Nobody cares, man. They just there to have some fun. Chill. Adam's Drum Room in LA. What's up? Who's from Texas? Dangerous Ted. New Start. Double A Ron MC. What's up? Shirley Morrow. Andrew Klinger. What's one technique you wish you learned early? It's a good question. You know what? I don't have the greatest foot. I wish my single kick was better. That's probably what I would wish for that. Suit Beats. Can I know, hang on, let me read this. Can I know how best I can practice those gospel chops? I'm just gonna listen on YouTube because I'm feeling, man, don't be intimidated by gospel chops. Don't be too concerned with all that stuff on the surface. Just learn the foundation. Just learn how to roll through triplets and sixteenths. I got a video on that. If you follow that video, man, you can apply that to those chops, and then you can watch all your favorite gospel chops drummers and not be so intimidated by all of that stuff, because it's just all the same monstrous, fast, linear chops. That's really all it is, man. Ain't nothing secret about gospel chops. Man, I'm missing all of these hellos. Hang on a second. Hold up. Detroit in the building. Dreamer, what's going on? Keeping time. Do you still use your most musical Swiss cymbal? Yes. That cymbal right there, man, on the end, that's a 22-inch master swish. That remains my favorite cymbal in the universe. I tell you what, though, a close second. I don't know if I showed y'all this yet, because I just got it like a couple of months ago. But this thing right here, man, this is a 22-inch Masters Dark Ride. That is one of the prettiest ride cymbals I've ever heard. I'm gonna call that a close second. For anyone watching, if you're digging this red pad right here, this is the Evans RealFeel Barney Beats pad. I love this thing. Looks cool. Sounds cool. If you want one, there's a link in the description box. I'm a Sweetwater affiliate. Go ahead and order you one up. And bring it to the next hang. Mark Stevenson is in the house. Love your videos and the way you motivate us. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Who else is here? Betsy from Ventura, California. Jim from Dunedin, one of my regulars. What's going on? Julio from Mexico City. What's up? Wow. Miguel from Argentina. James. Mohawk territory up here in Montreal, fellow Canadian. What's up? Who else is here? Mr. Cal is curious. What are some cool Paiste cymbals to expand your set? Get all the dark energies. Point blank. Get all the dark energies. That's all I'm going to say. Hang on one sec, man. So much going on. BOD. Shouting out from New Zealand. What's going on, man? Needs more chops on his weak hand. I got a video on that. You see what I'm doing here with my practice pad? Yeah, I do have a video on it, but long and short of it, if you got a 12-inch practice pad, take it, cut that sucker right in half. Not physically, but all you're gonna do is just add a little bit of resistance to the weak side. So get yourself a little towel, a little hand towel or something, fold it in half, tape it on one side of the pad, and just do your exercises how you normally would. The idea behind that is basically you're just gonna make your weak hand work about 15% harder than the other one. You do that over a couple of months, man, you'll be surprised how fast that becomes up to snuff. Mark Stevenson, do you play out with a band? Not so much lately, man. Not so much lately. I used to do that a lot. It's not that I don't like to do it. I love to do it. But I make most of my living doing this, talking to y'all. You know, I got a few other streams going on. Streams of income, that is, not live streams. But that's how I mainly make my dough. But as far as like going out and gigging and stuff, I would like for that to pick up. And I know one day it will, but right now, this is how I pay the bills. Res Rising from New York City. What's happening, man? Who's from the Czech Republic? What? Jaroslav? Not gonna attempt that last name, man, sorry. But he's shouting out from the Czech Republic, man. What's going on? Solimus is from Finland. My biggest problem when I'm playing drums, I get a great idea that I'm unable to execute. I love thinking of new things on the spot, but my hands and my feet don't follow. You pretty much answered your question there. Basically what's going on, here's the long and short of it, once again. The way I look at it, there's two sides, there are two elements, two main elements to being an effective drummer. There's theory and there's technique. Now when I say theory, I'm not talking about theory in the sense of, you know, reading music and notation and all that stuff. Theory is basically, and again, this is just how I see it. Theory is what you know. Everything you know about playing the drums themselves, your vocabulary, all of that stuff, that falls under theory. How much stuff have you learned thus far, right? That's the theory. Technique is the physical skill that you develop that you apply to your theory. So basically, it's what you know, right? How much you know, and what you apply to what you know. So in other words, you get an idea, and then you execute it with a technique. If those two ain't up to snuff, right, on the same level, there's an imbalance there. So basically, you know, all that's happening is you're getting more ideas than your technique can keep up with. The only way to fix that is to get your technique up. Continue to work on that. Learn new techniques and work on them and bring them up to the same level. That's basically all it is, right? You get an idea and then you execute it. A lot of people get the idea, can't execute it because they never either got around to working on the skill or they have and it's just not It's just not there yet. Most drummers in the beginning stages are like that. Because you're hyped up, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times you'll be able to sing a lick before you can play it. So, you know, you get all these really cool ideas. You go to push them out and you choke, right? You get stuck. You can't pull it off. So, you know, my only advice to you is to just spend a lot of time working on your technique and you'll be just fine, bro. Hang on a second. Got to keep up. S. Cron from Cape Town. What's happening? Rockin' Ross in the house. Shopping Americana Recordings. He's got an interesting question about Stuart Copeland's traditional grip. That's not one that I've figured out yet. Nor am I interested in figuring it out. But basically his question is, Stuart Copeland's left hand grip with just the first finger on top. I guess you're learning how to do that. Are you likely to meet any obstacles down the line with it? I don't really think so. I just kind of, here it is, if you haven't seen it. I don't know how he does it, but this is his traditional grip. There's another dude I know that plays like this. Good friend of mine named Sean Rickman. Beast of a drummer. He's this way too. I just can't get this happening. I haven't sat down long enough to figure out the mechanics of what's going on here and the muscles used and how you get all the same control. I just can't get it happening. So as far as meeting any obstacles down the road, I don't know. I can't tell you, man. What I can tell you is that it appears that a lot of work is being done with the thumb. And the index finger is just kind of sitting over top like that. So this, you know, it appears, for me anyway, that it seems just more of a power grip. I don't know how much control you can get with this. It looks like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't here, but yeah, man. I would just, if you're learning that grip, if you're in the middle of learning it, build this area up right here. Your thumb, that little joint right there, that's where your power is going to come from. It's the same thing with the traditional grip, right? Backbeats. You can do all of that with just with the thumb, and that's evident because, you know, when you're cracking those backbeats, you can open your hand right up like this and still whack it, right? That's because it's all happening right here. So whether the stick is sitting between these two fingers, which is normally what it is, or these two fingers, the principle with the thumb is the same. So if you're just doing it to play grooves and stuff, you should be fine. If you want to develop like the fine motor mechanics, you gotta research that, because I don't know what's going on there. Brooke Hornback. What's happening, Brooke? Just getting caught up here, y'all. Man, there's a lot of people here. That's great. Love it. Charles Chambers says he's a self-taught drummer, plays for his church. Do I have any tips on how to play the newer type of music? Like when you say newer type of music, I'm not sure what you mean there. But, I mean, as far as, don't focus so much on learning the music per se, right? Just learn the language. This is going to sound super corny, but you got to learn the language of drumming in general, because I mean, it's all the same stuff. It's applied different ways, right? You can use a triplet playing reggae. You can use a triplet playing gospel. It's the same sort of, it's the same language, just interpreted different ways depending on the situation that you're in. So in other words, as long as you're working on your technique, right? If you're practicing on a regular basis and you're listening to a lot of that stuff, then you'll know how to take what you learn and apply it to playing that music. There's nothing special about learning a lot of the newer contemporary Christian stuff. I think that's what you're talking about. Man, that's some of the easiest and most simple stuff to play. So, you know, just learn the language, listen to a lot of that stuff, and then you'll figure out how you can take what you learn and apply it to that music. Caleb Gilbert, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. What's going on? He's from Maine. Tips for finding the one if you get lost. Well, my main piece of advice is don't get lost. But I have a video on my channel. Can't remember the name of it. But it's all about developing really good time playing. I'm going to keep thinking about it, because if I remember the name, I'm going to tell you. But it'll answer all your questions. Basically, man, all you really need to do to never lose the one, ever, is you just got to get comfortable playing all your subdivisions around the quarter note. That's it. That's how you develop internal time, like really good internal time. You got to get grounded in the quarter notes. Your quarter notes are kind of like stakes in the ground, right? Between those stakes, you got all your subdivisions. If you know where all of those are and how they relate, how much space there is between that note and the next quarter note, you'll never lose a pulse, ever. I can guarantee it. You don't even really have to count. You're probably just focusing on the wrong thing. If you're playing and you're getting lost, you don't know where the one is anymore. First of all, that's bad. Because as drummers, you know, we're supposed to establish the one for everybody. I know a lot of other, you know, players of other instruments almost kind of take offense to that. Listen, first of all, calm down. All right? The fact of the matter is, we can't lose the one. If we lose the one, the whole band gets lost. If I'm solid and the guitar player loses the one, he can stop playing, listen to me, and get back on track. So it's up to us to make sure that we're establishing good time. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you get grounded in the quarter note. So all you really got to do, man, is just turn on a click and practice playing all your subdivisions around the quarter. You'll never lose it, ever. If you know what a eighth note triplet sounds like around the quarter, then you're good to go. But yeah, as a drummer, man, you cannot get lost. You can't. You have to know. You got to learn and be comfortable and confident in establishing the one and keeping it the entire time. You know what I'm saying? Good. Let me keep up. Let me keep up. So many questions. Lucio Drum 87. £5. Hey man, thanks for the super chat, my man. Wants to buy me a beer. I don't really drink beer, but you know, if you buy me one, I'll probably have it. I can have one. Trying to watch my figure here. Just backing up, making sure I didn't miss anything. I'm gonna catch all these super chats. Adam's Drum Room wants to know what's the make and model of my first drum kit. The first drum kit I ever had in the house was just like a piece of crap Westbury. It was black, 5-piece Westbury drum kit. It was falling apart. 12, 13, 16, 22-inch kick, typical starter kit. A couple of cheap cymbals. That was my first kit that I had in the house. I loved it, by the way, because it was my first set of drums, and I just wanted to play. The first kit that I spent money on was a set of burgundy, pearl, I believe pearl forums. And then after that, I saved up some dough, and I got a set of fire engine red pearl exports. Everyone at one point in their life has had a pearl export kit in the house, but that's what I had. And yeah, I love them. One sec, Mel. Somebody's watching from Russia. Can't pronounce your name because it's in Russian, but shout out to Russia. Res Rising, answering Gilbert's question, excuse me. Answering his question again about not losing to one. They're saying listen to the bass player. If your bass player is good, that can help. But like I said, take on that responsibility yourself. You're not allowed to get lost. Remember that. Man, look at all these people. Campbell Reed from New Zealand. What's going on? Carlos Marino, how often do you practice in a week? Me personally, not that much. I play, you know, whenever the mood strikes and I feel like playing, I'll come down here and however long it's for, 15 minutes, 2 hours, it depends on how I'm feeling. And sometimes I'll work on something specific, maybe just like an exercise to get around the drums. Or maybe I'll just play along to music, stuff like that. But I don't really practice that often anymore. And it's not because I'm trying to say I'm awesome and I don't need to practice. I've been at this over 30 years now. So, you know, admittedly, like I'm not attacking it the same way I did when I was like 19 and I was down there for 4 hours a day. You know what I mean? Right now, it's like when I feel like playing, I'll come down here, put the work in. That's on the kit. On this thing, I can't even count the hours that I spend on my practice pad. I keep one under the couch, put a towel over it, so it doesn't make too much noise. I sit on my side of the couch, got the TV in front of me, and I'll run this thing. I mean, if my wife and I are just like chilling at home watching TV all day on a Saturday, I'll spend the majority of that day on the pad. So as far as coming down here and playing the kit, not that often. On the pad, endless hours a week, just doing random stuff, just moving the hands. You know, making sure I get all that tight, keep all of that tight. Because as long as I keep that good, I'm always going to sound good on this. So there you go. Danny Mason, what's up? Greets from a UK mature beginner. Shout out to all my mature beginners out there. It's encouraging. It's encouraging to see, man. I got a lot of emails, messages from people in their 50s, 60s, 70s even, saying that they're just getting into drumming. Shout out to y'all, man. It's never ever too late to get into this. Ever. So, by the way, there's a link in the description box. I partnered up with my boys over at DRUMEO. If you want a 30-day trial, you can click on that link in the description. You can get a free 30-day trial. They set that up just for my fans, which is great. So you can go over there, you know, check out the site, take a walk through the village, see what you like. You get free access to the whole thing for 30 days. So check out that link in the description if you want to check it out. Lucio Drums back again with a super chat. Thanks for the super chat. What do you think about learning a song by ear? That's how I do it. That's how I've done it my entire life. And even when I was, gigging professionally, full time. Let me put these sticks down for a little bit so I can talk to y'all. Even when I was gigging professionally, and I was busy doing it, it's the same thing, man. They send you the music, you spend some time with it, and you learn it. Now, there's things that you can do to make that easy. You can find whatever way that you can to make learning the stuff faster. And for me, I just sort of developed this system where I can just chart out a roadmap of the song to the point where even if I don't know it, as long as I'm looking at it, I can play through it just fine. Like everybody has a little shortcut method of learning stuff quick. Like if you're into the Nashville number system, that can help you out. But learning songs by ear, it's an invaluable skill. Invaluable. Especially if you're going to end up, in like a cover band, tribute band, wedding band, all of that stuff. You got 40 tunes to learn, and you got to listen to them all real quick. Because nobody wants to be up there staring at charts. I mean, you can write stuff out if you're really good at, reading and drum notation and all that. If you're good at that, that's cool. But you don't want to be at a gig staring at paper all night. Learning music by ear is great because, aside from building that skill, you're working on your retention. That's super important. Because when I'm on stage, man, like I want to be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to have to refer to any kind of notes too often. I'll always bring them with me. Like if I'm playing with somebody new and, just for insurance. You know, I'll have my iPad with me. I use the Good Notes app here. I got everything charted out in my little roadmap system here for the arrangement. And I'll have that there just for insurance. But for the most part, I just try to retain all of it. Because again, like I want to be in the moment. I want to be able to look around, look at my other bandmates, look at the crowd, all of that stuff. The longer you spend listening music and lifting licks and learning grooves and all that kind of stuff, you start to get really good at that. And someone can send you 20 songs for an upcoming gig, and in 2 weeks, they'll all be up here. It's a good skill, man. Keep that up. Charles Prim, greetings from Seattle. Shout out to Seattle. Jerry Weston from UK, what's happening? I think I saw another super chat here. Rez Rising. Thanks for the super chat, man. See if Stuart Copeland would do a video with you. Man, don't even. I've had one or two, I don't want to say online encounters, but I've had in some way or another some sort of contact with Stuart. And I tell you, man, when you've idolized someone, I'm going to use the word idolize because he's been my hero for a very long time. So it's kind of a trip when you do something and he responds to it. It's just kind of nuts. If you follow him on Facebook, this happened, can't remember, several months ago. This happened. But have you guys seen the video? I did a video breaking down his hi-hat licks. And he ended up seeing it. He found the video and he posted it on his Facebook page. And I didn't find out until I was on Instagram, and one of my followers hit me up to it. I was like, what? And I went over to Facebook, and sure enough, posted my video on his page, left a cool comment, and now it's on his website. Like, it's embedded on his website. If you go to Stuart Copeland's website, there's a section somewhere on there. I think it's under news or something. You might have to scroll back a little bit to find it. But yeah, I'm on Stuart Copeland's website. Check that out. Boom. Leave a tip for that. Hope. Hang on. Campbell Reed. Any comment on hearing protection while gigging? Yeah, it's pretty important, I would say. If you're at a gig where there's no like monitoring needed outside of a wedge, I mean, like if you're not using in-ears on stage, then you should have some sort of ear protection. And there's a few different options out there available now. I used to use, and I still have them, but Vader makes these really cool little plugs. They're tiny. Stick them in your ears, and you can change the inserts. I don't even know if they still make them. I think they do. But there's a green insert and there's a red insert. And each one allows either more or less sound in the plugs. Those are cool. So they're really small, like they're not really obstructive. If you're using wedges and you're playing a bar gig, especially those bar gigs, you got to use something. It'll save. That's a long-term thing. Because hearing loss is something that's developed over time. So if you're not careful with it, you know, could pay for it down the road. So I highly recommend using some sort of ear protection on stage when you're not using in-ears. Joe Christofferson. It's got an interesting question that I'm ready to answer, honestly. He wants to know, is the A&F snare worth the money? He's considering buying one, but choking on the price. You know what? It depends on who you ask. If you ask me, which you are asking me, 1,000% yes. I know these things are expensive. You know these things are expensive. I'm telling you straight up, once you get it in your house, and once you put a stick on it, you're not going to miss the money. You're just not. These friggin' snare drums are so incredibly well made, number one. Number two, nothing on the planet sounds like an A&F. If anyone's watching right now that has one, they'll say the same thing. And it doesn't make any difference which one it is. I got two of them. This is the 14 6.5 raw brass that my awesome wife actually got me as a gift, which is crazy. And then the one behind the kit that you've been seeing in the last several videos, that is a 14 5.5 maple club. Reason why I got that one is because I wanted two A&Fs. I wanted a metal shell and a wood shell, something a little bit thinner that I could crank up when I needed to. I'm not going to tell you how much that one was. You can go to the A&F site and, you know, let your jaw drop over there. It's pretty expensive. But, again, you get the thing home, you do not miss the money. People that buy these snares know what they're getting. And they know why they're expensive. These things are pieces of art, man. I'm giving a huge plug to A&F. But, and I love those guys too, like Remy, like all those guys, great people over there. But yeah, man, if you're looking to pull the trigger on an A&F, anyone out there that's watching, just do it. Trust me on this. If there's a return policy, you can always fall back on that. If you get it home and you don't fall in love with it after 2.5 hits, you can take it back. But I guarantee you, best money you'll ever spend in your life. Shout out to A&F. Let me make sure I'm not missing any. Tano Meza is working right now. Don't get fired, man. But he's coming here to greet from Costa Rica. That's crazy, man. Your wisdom can go far all over the world. We worldwide, man. We worldwide. We're about to hit a milestone pretty soon, too, which I'm thinking is a few weeks away from hitting 225,000 subscribers. That's pretty freaking cool. Matter of fact, let me. There you go. Stan Wallace, what's up, man? Thanks for all you do for the drumming community. You're welcome. This is why I'm here. Where's that Vietnam vet? Hang on a second. We got to salute somebody here. Man, don't let me lose you. I'll find you. I will find you. Because we need to thank you for your service. I'll find you, my man. Hang tight. Man, see, that's what you get for not paying attention. All right. Hang on, man. Or you can drop your comment again. If you're still watching, that Vietnam vet, drop your name again, man. Let me give you a shout out. Dreamer RT21, thanks for the super chat. What song was the hardest to learn and how long did it take to... That's a good question. The hardest song that I've ever learned, I don't even know if you're going to believe this when I tell it to you. But I was and I still am, huge Chick Corea Electric Band fan. I developed a ton of my chops playing the Chick Corea albums back in the day. And there's a song off of the, I believe it's the Inside Out album. There's like this 20-minute song on that album that's in like 4 or 5 different sections. That was one of my favorite Chick Corea tunes ever. And I learned it. I learned that whole freaking thing, man. Like, this is way back when I was, you know, still in my early 20s. And yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I lifted this whole tune, bro. And I used to play it over and over and over again. If I recorded myself back then and I listened to it today, it would probably suck. Probably. It might not. I don't know. But I do know, like I remember being so excited after learning the whole thing that I called some friends over and played it for them because I was that excited. They were kind enough to sit through the entire, I made them sit through the entire 20 minutes while I played through the song. Tale of Daring, I believe that's what it was called. Anyways, there's a few videos actually of Dave talking about the session when they recorded that particular song. And apparently it was a bear for them too. And they celebrated when they finally got through all the charts. So that's my answer. Adam's Drum Room, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Yeah. Shout out to Adam's Drum Room, man. Thanks a lot. Ah, there he is. I believe it's Solomus. Yeah. He's saying, thanks for all the help. 75. He's 75 years old. Vietnam War vet. Thanks for your service, my man. He started playing drums at 68. He's now 75. And he's in 2 bands. This man is 78 years old, and he's in 2 bands. When I tell you it's not too late, it's not too late. He's in a blues band and a rock band, getting paid, having fun. That's how you do it. Let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says. This right here is the coolest instrument on the planet. You'll never win that argument against me. That's why a lot of people flock to drum festivals. You don't ever see anybody, you know, packing up the car to go drive to, I don't want to say it. But I ain't never been to a guitar festival. I'm just saying. Let's move on. These things are just fun, man. The reason why these things are so fun is because you don't need to be good to have fun on them. People love watching drummers. It's just the nature of what we do. Just keeping up with these comments, man. There's a whole lot of them. It's flying by too, man. Follow me on Instagram if you ain't already doing so. Lucio Drums, thanks for the second super chat. You can do it more than once. Just letting you know. Excuse me. What do you think about recording with 3 mics? I like it. Before I had this whole thing set up, like if you go back a couple of years on this channel, I was only using 3 mics. I had 2 overheads and a kick, and that's all I had. And no one has ever complained about the sound of my drums. If your drums are tuned well, you got them in a good space, you can totally get away with 3 mics. Sometimes if you're doing it on stage, it depends on the environment, size of the room. But you can also get away with 3 mics on stage. But if you're just in your house and you're just doing some mild recording or whatever, you can totally get away with 3 mics. There's a lot of different tutorials on YouTube, different setup ideas if you're only using 3 mics, placement, stuff like that. You can mess around with that. But if that's all you got, if all you got are 3 mics, you can totally get away with it. Dakota John, what's your thoughts on Ludwig drums? I haven't played a lot of Ludwig kits themselves. Actually, I don't think I've ever played any Ludwig kits. But their snare drums are off the chain. Ludwig, of course, makes some of the best sounding snare drums on the planet. So yeah, that is the extent of my experience with Ludwig. Hey, you know what I forgot to ask? Who out here right now has a birthday? If it's your birthday today, let me know in the chat, man. I'll give you a shout out. And don't lie. Don't lie, man, just because you want me to say hi to you. I can figure that out. I'm a smart guy. Bobby Lopez, what's up? Bobby from Toronto. Stuart Trillion. If I got that on the first try, man, you got to leave me a tip because I just took a stab at it. Sounds right, though. Stuart Trillion, how do you remedy a tense hand when drumming? For those of y'all that have been following this channel through the entire the entire year of 2018, 2018 was the year of the hands on this channel. And that was the mantra for the entire year, loose hands. I had you guys write it on the top of your snare drum as a reminder that you should always keep your hands loose. Listen, the only way to remedy tense hands when you play is to just not have tense hands. You got to loosen them up. You got to stay loose, man. If warming up helps, do that. But you just got to get used to the habit. It starts with the grip. If your hands are tense, your grip is messed up. Because if you're holding the sticks correctly, you won't have a loose grip. You just won't. It's a matter of just learning how to use the wrists and the fingers. Once you learn that you can pretty much get everything you need, control, dynamics, speed, all of that stuff. You can get all of that, everything you need to play from here to here. That's it. This is the zone right here, right? Once you learn that, you'll never have to worry about having tense hands again. You can get 100% of the power that you need from the wrist, right? Volume doesn't come from how hard you hit. It comes from velocity. The faster you whip the stick down, right, the more volume you'll get. And these drums will only get so loud. Like they'll max out. So whacking at them, you know, with your whole entire arm is pointless. If you're doing it for show, if you're doing it for the ladies in the front row, whatever, that's cool. But you know, if you want to look smooth and still sound really powerful, you just learn how to use your wrists. Flop them around, man. See what I'm doing here? If I had a stick in my hand, that's all you need. You get all the power, all the control, all the speed, anything. Again, from here to here, wrist and fingers. I have several videos on hand development, hand technique. Check a couple of those out and just work on that. Work on your practice pad. You know what I'm saying? Work on keeping them hands loose. You'll never have to worry about tense hands again. Man, did I miss some birthdays? Hold on here. Carlos Marino. Happy birthday to Carlos. Oh, it's in October. I take it back. Come back in October. I saw the word birthday and I just flocked to you. Danny Vizan from Romania. Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Romania. Who else is here? Man, this hour is flying by, man. We got like 7 minutes left. That's crazy. Crazy. Ryan Souls wants to know, how long did it take me to, no, how much did it cost? And how long did it take for me to soundproof my room? A lot of people think this foam on the wall is soundproofing foam. It's not. This basement is not soundproof at all. I'm surrounded by 3 solid walls, right? So there's dirt behind this wall, dirt behind half of this wall, and that's the back of the house there. So this room's not soundproof. I got these up on the wall just to help control some of the natural reverb that was bouncing around when I first got the kit down here. So this didn't cost much at all. Like, these are just foam, like cheap foam panels. Probably paid, I don't know, 125 maybe, 150 bucks for all these panels. But yeah, there's no, I didn't see the need to like properly soundproof the room. If I did like professionally do that, number one, it would shrink the room a little bit because you want a distance, you want a gap between your natural wall and your false wall. You need a false floor, you got to take it up a couple inches, all that stuff. Man, ain't got no time for all that. And if you have a space at home and you want to record your drums, don't think that you have to spend all kinds of dough to get a good drum sound, because you don't. There are drums that have been recorded in bedrooms that sound awesome. Like, it just depends. Look at your space, set your drums up, play them, and then just see what the room sounds like. If you need to control a little bit of crazy reverb, like if you don't have carpet, if you got a hardwood floor, if you're dealing with just hardwood floor, start with getting a nice big thick pile carpet. Stick that under the kit. That's going to help a little bit. Grab yourself some foam panels, stick them on the wall. Start there. You might find that that's enough. Danny, playing live with a click. Do you do it? Do you recommend it? Is it personal preference? First of all, if you're going to do this for a living, or even part-time, if you want to go out there and start gigging, it's required. It's a required skill. You got to learn how to play with a click on the stage. I personally hate it. For the record, I'm just saying, I can't stand playing with a click. I can do it and I'm good at it, but if I can avoid it at all costs, I will avoid it. Because for me, man, like I'm old school. I need music to breathe. And a lot of times, you know, when bands, like especially small bands, want to play with a click, listen, 99.9% of the time, you're the only ones that care. Your audience doesn't give a crap if that tune speeds up 3 BPM or slows down 2 BPM. Music is supposed to float. It's supposed to have a pulse, man. It's supposed to breathe. But there are situations where it's required. Like you got to play with a click. Like a lot of times in the past, you know, I've been in situations where there's an accompanying video on the big screen and everything needs to sync, right? So, you know, there might be a backing track, there might be a click, all of that stuff. It's just required in a lot of situations. If you ever aspire to do theater work, you got no choice. You got to know how to play to a click. But yeah, it's not something that I like to do. Like I hate it. I hate it. I can't stand it. You might find that most old school drummers, a lot of drummers my age tell you the same thing. Just ruins the vibe. There was life before clicks and it was fine. If you ever watch like go back and watch like old Van Halen shows, any one of those iconic bands, they never had clicks on stage, man. It was never a thing. You count a tune off and you play it and it was awesome. Tunes were always faster on stage and nobody cared. So at one point, the standard changed and then all of a sudden it became a thing. And now it's at the point where, you know, if you have any hopes of gigging now, like these days, pop bands, country bands, you got to have a rig beside you. You just have to. Sucks, but that's part of your kit now. You're either running the tracks for the band or you're running the click. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but it just goes to show you how much I hate I hate clicks on stage. I'm good at it, but I hate it. Man, this was one of the coolest chats. I can't believe how many people showed up. This is awesome. I got a couple minutes left. Actually, it's 4 o'clock right on the nose. Let me just make sure that I caught everything before I sign off. Thanks everyone for coming. These are always cool. I try to do these on the last Friday of every month. So if you want to catch the next one, be sure to keep up with me on Instagram. I will announce it. But as of right now, that's the plan. We're going to do this on the last Friday of August. We come here, we hang out, we talk drums. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah, just making sure I didn't miss any super chats or fake birthdays. Thank y'all for coming. It was a cool hang. It always is. Take care of yourselves. Keep practicing. Again, if you want one of these pads, there's a link in the description box. Click on that. That's my Sweetwater link. Take it right over there. You can order one of these up. Thanks for watching. Another video coming up soon. Be nice to each other. Keep smiling, keep practicing, all of that stuff. Drink water. I don't know what else to say. I'm out. Peace.